So good morning everyone and a warm welcome. I'm honestly quite pleased to be standing here and presenting in front of so many dynamic and creative professionals. It's an honor in itself. And what I want to present is, along with me are my teammates Florence Rodrigues and Mohsin Kazi from the workforce management and business intelligence teams at Tech Mahindra. And what we wanted to go ahead and what we all do basically, we look at the data, we optimize the data, and we ensure that it enhances your decision making or anything which relates to efficiency and optimization, resource and all of that. It basically let numbers do the heavy lifting so that we don't have to, while it's the need of the hour that we also do some heavy lifting. But yeah, let numbers do the talking. And before I introduce the solution, what I would like to do, I would like to give you some context of what I want to say and stuff. So there are a lot of tools in the market which are available for forecasting, scheduling, real time, but none has touched the planning space. And it is a wide space, and I would like to thank the data native team for being a pioneer here and filling that gap. So thank you so much for the entire team on creating that. And what we did is, a couple of months back in the hackathon, we presented the idea for which we got recognized yesterday, that how can we do it so that it customizes to our customers. But we didn't leave it over there. We thought we'll work on it. So, and Shah Rukh Khan has rightly said, किसी चीज़ को अगर शिद्दत से चाहो तो पूरी कायनात तुम्हें उसे मिलाने में कोशिश कर देती है. So that's our solution. That's about what we are. And what our tool does, it streamlines the work, and Data Native has given greater insights on it. So you will be able to correlate to it for sure. So it gives you a bit of bandwidth, probably coffee breaks, because caffeine is the real MVP here, isn't it? Having said that, and as you know a bit about me and my team, what I would like to do is, I'd like to take you through a small glimpse of the tool and tackle the operational challenges which almost every organization faces because of the Excel-based solution, because it's far more complicated than assembling the IKEA solution, isn't it? So I'd like to present and give you a glimpse of the challenges, please.
Effective contact center capacity planning is crucial for delivering exceptional customer service and managing costs efficiently. It involves forecasting customer interaction volumes and determining the optimal number of seats and resources needed. By balancing staffing levels with customer demand, contact centers can reduce wait times, improve service quality, and avoid both overstaffing and understaffing. Relying solely on basic tools like Excel poses significant challenges. Spreadsheets often fall short in managing the complexity of contact center operations, leading to inaccurate forecasts and reactive decisions. They lack real-time data integration and advanced analytics, which can result in long wait times, higher operational costs, and diminished service quality. Advanced capacity planning tools address these issues by providing comprehensive data analytics and predictive capabilities. These tools enable proactive adjustments, efficient resource allocation, and better cost management. This ensures that resources are allocated efficiently, costs are controlled, and customer satisfaction remains high. Effective capacity planning, therefore, acts as a strategic upstream process that lays the foundation for operational success, helping to balance service levels with budgetary constraints and drive overall business efficiency.
Deafen you out. It was all about automation over here. So now, as you've seen the glimpse of the challenges, what would ideally help in a capacity planning solution? And as I've said, the data native team had presented this, and what about the tool is completely automated. It reduces manual intervention, it boosts accuracy, and it lets the organization deal with the ever-changing demand. How about the intuitive design? Like every individual here, I'm sure, wants to see the data its own way. When you take your data, the person would probably change the column to the row and row to the column, because every individual is designed to see the data own way. So having an easier interface is nothing but an added advantage. optimizing all planning assumptions, so it becomes easier if I want to see of what I want to put in over there, how do I want to put in. So I spoke about flex staffing, which we spoke about a while back. How can we use those? A lot of you guys presented yesterday, and lovely presentations of how do we use it to our own benefit and the organization's benefit. This is one of the pain areas and a common point. How about the tool has a historical data, which I don't have to go to 10 different spreadsheets. I have everything consolidated, centralized, interlinked, so the error and all of that is taken care of. So it has historical data analysis. And to add on it, finance guys are always breathing down the neck of WFM teams, especially, isn't it? What is it? How my revenue will look like ahead? So giving a view to them so that the senior leadership team can also take decisions and act if needed. What if scenarios, a lot of the bosses will come, can you just cut this to me and give it to me in 30 minutes? And you're like, really? 30 minutes? Are you sure? But automation probably helps it to you that I want to do certain scenario modeling, like Diwali is coming up. I will probably use higher shrinkage across all industries because of people being on leave. What does it do to your staffing? And probably we need to set expectations with the customers, or how do we tackle those? Timely alerts, we spoke about this as well. If it gives the planner an alert so that course correction is done and it becomes easier. One of the most important things, credential-based login, so that it is secured, all your data is ensured that it is kept securely. Plus you have audit tracker if anybody has made the particular capacity planner and it's stored and who's done it. So it's easier to catch hold of that person that, okay, this is what it was. Now while I have listed down all my wish list over here, and as I mentioned that a lot of hard work went into it, and so I would like to present our solution, which we call it ARC. It's nothing but AI-powered resource planning and capacity optimization tool. And without creating any further suspense, it's a 3-minute video. I would like to give you a glimpse of the sandbox tool of the environment.
Welcome to ARC, the ultimate AI-powered tool for resource planning and capacity optimization in contact centers of any size. Easy account setup. Setting up is straightforward. Log in with your credentials. Input your forecast manually or through an integrated WFO system. Advise planning assumptions and constraints. And your capacity plan for any period is ready. You can clone existing plans, make tweaks, and generate staffing reports at various levels, from line of business to enterprise. AI capability. ARC's advanced AI capability is a game changer. It analyzes historical data to offer smart recommendations for future capacity planning, considering factors like trainer availability, training rooms, attrition rates, and past shrinkages. ARC also advises on the best times to hire based on your constraints and provides tailored recommendations for managing staffing at specification levels. What if scenarios? ARC's AI-driven engine handles various hypothetical scenarios with ease. Weather planning for peak seasons, adjusting for shrinkage during key campaigns, or timing your next hire, ARC provides quick, automated solutions with robust security. Users can run and save unlimited what-if scenarios, managing and publishing only the approved plans. The tool has the ability to seamlessly integrate with any external WFM and HR systems to retrieve headcount and attrition details.
So as I've given you the sneak peek, and Florence, as you have fixed the nuts and bolts of this tool, would you like to share some features of this tool, Arc?
Sure, Apar. Thanks so much. It's indeed a path-breaking solution. Let's look at the key features, and first and foremost, we have the AI-driven assumptions validation. So what the system is capable of is it's looking at the historical data. It can provide you the planning assumptions that you need to provide or to create a staffing outlook.
Now, also, as I mentioned that the tool, let's stop calling it tool and I'll call it Arc now, sorry. So as Arc also gives you timely alerts, I mentioned this in the past, and it is very, very important because when you're making a plan and when you know you're deviating from a plan, if an alert is in position, it lets the planner act and course correct it so that we stick to the plan, and and that helps ensuring that we are on track.
Absolutely. And another important feature is that based on your planned assumptions, the tool has the, or rather Arc has the capability to provide the outcome in terms of the hiring patterns, and it also gives you inputs in terms of the constraints, like if you have to hire, do you have enough training rooms? Do you have the trainers available? Do you have the seats available? All these things are taken into consideration, and then accordingly a plan is provided to the hiring and the training team.
Perfect. And all of this is automated. You don't have to have manual interventions. Obviously, there are Excels attached, but it is a centralized. So at the click of button, you can have a whole view, as you saw in the video that I just generated. So it has a repository, and it's completely automated and integrated with all the systems.
Yeah, the most important part is the data security, and you touched on it earlier. So we have a role-based access that we have provided on this tool so that it's in a complete secure environment. The other option is that we have a comprehensive logging on this tool. So all the activities that are done by the user on the tool are recorded, be it if you're going on the page, changing anything, creating scenarios, everything is recorded. So it closes the audit trail also.
Superb. Now let's talk about scalability. The tool is highly scalable, and we have deployed it in one of our accounts, which is roughly around 4,000 odd employees and 20 plus different lines of business. Arc also covers the entire staffing right up till the smallest line of business, rolling up to a business unit, management unit, estate level. And I know there are different terms, we call it skill set, verticals and all of that. So it covers at every level, so that if I want a view of the entire allocation or the estate, it can provide of how the headcount of the entire estate is, irrespective of the way of modeling, let it be a FTE, productive hour, or a cost plus model. So in short, while I explain the key features, what did Arc bring to us? So while we were working on it, we deployed this tool, and we ensured that we did our capacity planning on this model. In the last few months, it has helped us reduce average of 3 to 4% on our headcount, which approximately equates to around $400,000, right? This is just for these few months, but if I take it at an annualized level and I consider everything, it can be relating up to a $1 million saving because of deployment of this tool. I have a couple of testimonials from my internal clients, so let's hear them as well.
Hi, this is Sushil Rane, part of the Tech Mahindra delivery team. I'm here to speak to you about the capacity planning tool. It has really helped us improve our resource allocation in the recent times. What it does is it gives us a proactive approach in helping to enhance our efficiencies and also the confidence in our delivery to the client objectives. Thank you.
Post implementing the new planning process, it has significantly streamlined the entire operation. It has helped us enhance the collaboration and improve our efficiencies in terms of the operations. The clarity it provides allows us to tackle challenges proactively and ultimately drive better results. I thank you and your entire team to drive these changes on the ground. Thank you so much.
that's us. I'm sure there would be some questions.
The data security part which you spoke about, how are you giving the access? Is it role based? How much customizable this is?
I'll take that. So this is basically, we have a complete master list of all the users that are supposed to access the system. So what we have built is a role-based access where only the users, if they log in through their credentials, are allowed access on the system.
And that user will have access to specific data within.
Yes. So like you must have seen on the video, there are multiple accounts that we have. So not all users will be accessing all the accounts. So if I'm a user pertaining to a certain account, I will have access only to that account and details of that account. Again, within the account, I'll have some admin accesses, some will have user accesses. So all these are they're controlled from our end directly.
And it will drill through when it comes to the hierarchy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi. You did mention about some 500K savings, right? Is that savings coming from the headcount, how much you have reduced from the scaling perspective, or is it coming from the WFM analyst perspective? Like how much time are you saving creating your capacity plans? How's the savings derived?
So there's a couple-fold answer to this. One is the savings which was mentioned over here. It's the headcount saving, all right, and not the WFM saving. From a WFM saving perspective, obviously we had a couple of guys doing the capacity planner because from an Excel base, it is optimized from a WFM, and they are able to invest more time in doing analysis which we wanted them to do. If there is a change from a particular week, a capacity plan was published to the next week, why does that change? Did attrition help? Did if any of the levers like shrinkage was reduced? What happened in office, out of office? So it helps us give analysis and outcomes from a WFM standpoint. Those savings was only headcount.
Thank
that
you.
answers.
So if I have to summarize it, can I say that capacity planner can spend more time having discussions with the business and doing more analysis instead of spending time on numbers?
Absolutely bang on. Probably more value add as a department to the operations team or the other teams, and let the tool do what it's supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Great one.
Thank you.
I must compliment you for the awesome PPT.
Thank you so much.
Apart from mine, you are the best.
Okay. I'll let the jury decide that.
And yesterday, I was kind of thinking that to understand the PPTs, I need to upgrade my knowledge as well. So, I say a lot of AI intelligence are coming. Just one thing I have for you is capacity planning. A lot of manual efforts we guys do on a daily basis. Yes, it is something which is still not built up. I think data native is already doing that. The one question which comes to my mind that you have a forecast, you have capacity, you have some assumption, and then you have built up your fall plan. I mean, all that stuff happens. And then you give the projection to your respective department. How it is reducing the headcount?
I'll take the one. So, in essence, when you do it manually on spreadsheet, you plug in your assumptions based on either your gut feel of what's going to happen, or you would look at historical data, manually crunch some numbers, and then carve out the projections. But in an automated world, the projections are basically looking at historical data. It is computing, running various algorithms and advising the right assumption. The savings that Afaq made a mention of, those are predominantly coming in from the headcount reduction. Our staffing level, which was hovering at, I'm making this up, okay? So let's say 105, 107% month over month. Now that is started showing a southward trend. Now that number is trickled down to 103, 104% to the desired state. And how did that happen? By virtue of those assumptions getting corrected, and those inputs are coming in from the system.
So if I have understood correctly, just for my understanding, so you might be forecasting the incorrect attrition trend, and then you saw the trend and your AI said that, hey, this is not the correct trend, this is what you have to build up, right? So the percentages of assumptions became more accurate. That's what you're saying.
Two parts to it. One, absolutely, the assumptions, the recommended assumptions are far better than what we used to do earlier. The second thing, the computation in itself, right? There are metrics like scheduling loss, etc., which are computed outside. There was some element of course correction on those values as well. That actually rolled up to the overall savings that Afaq spoke of.
A suggestion, maybe a feedback on the assumptions piece, what you asked. You said it is built on the historicals and you are able to save. That's one time. What you did is rationalization and standardization of your historicals. We are done. You got that 400 closed. But when you build a model, it's just not on the actuals. You need to feed in what is coming in, particularly in the fast-paced AI. For example, somebody is going to come and give me a project. I will reduce your after call work by 5 minutes or say 2 minutes, right? You need to induce that in your assumptions and plan ahead. So have that flexibility. It's not just the actuals.
Yeah. Brilliant point. In fact, so see, one is the system advising you what needs to go into your plan. But it's not that the user is going to take it on face value. We have our own intelligence, right? For instance, if the clients come back and say that, you know what, I'm going to run a marketing campaign next week. Now, that's not something that my AI can predict, right? So those manual interventions right on the platform can be done. And if you saw the interface, those cells or those spreadsheet-like look, each block, you can just punch in and change the number and the whole projection changes. So that feature somewhere is considered in there. And you're absolutely right in saying, so you don't just look at time series, you have to look at causatives, and that's very important. Now regression and stuff on a platform like this, to be very fair and honest, we have not considered regression right now. It's time series, but we are allowing the user to take a look at how the manpower pans out and do the course correction by getting the right assumptions in there. Because you cannot predict virtually everything. Some of those are dependent on the client, right? Especially in a third-party world, we are highly dependent. They won't disclose all their marketing plan, campaign, what they're going to do, because those are sudden things, right? Those things we have to be dependent, and then you course correct what the tool throws out. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, thank you. As long as you have the flexibility.
Yeah. You had a question, Jay? Yeah, sure. Just finishing that one.
You talked about the trainer assignment, training room assignment, and that being automated. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, very good question, Jay. So, see, let me cite an example of the skill group or the business where this is deployed today. This business, we have 23 different lines of businesses, okay? And we have multiple trainers, and some of those are dedicated to certain line of business. And then we have limited set of training room in the facility, and which are shared by 2-3 different opcos or different business units altogether. Now, when we set up the line of business on the platform during the administration, we actually define how many training rooms are there, and then we also advise how many trainers do we have available for this specific skill group to be trained. Now, when the algorithm runs, or rather when the training has to be advised, when the training date has to be recommended by the system, the tool has the ability to check how many training rooms are utilized or occupied during that time period, and that's how it suggests, whether you can do the training class in this week or the following.
So in some cases, right, especially in BPOs, you'll have a training room that sometimes in peak season you convert into production environments and stuff like that. How do you kind of tackle some of those chaos?
So that's something the user will have to overrule. So when the tool suggests that, look, the training class is needed on the 15th of September, however, you cannot do so. The next best decision is you do it on the 22nd of October. But then the tool is not capable of knowing, is there a makeshift training room that I can make available? No. So that decision overrule, the user will allow to input and say, we'll do the training.
Thank you.
Yes, Mark.
So when you create a set of classes, let's say the tool said, yes, you can have 5 classes running parallel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So let's say the tool suggests you can have 5 classes running in parallel based on these constraints.
you go ahead and schedule those classes. So it's basically assigning classes to trainers in the back end. So the next time when you run the model, it is now going back and checking that yes, these classes were assigned, or now when you're creating next set of classes, you have to again input.
No, only once.
It is checking, right?
It's checking.
Wonderful.
It's checking.
Great. You had a question.
You have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to check what part of the model has got AI element embedded into it, and then what is the data you are using for that AI?
So the assumptions, all the planning assumption piece, on those we are currently basically, it's in a beta test mode as we called out earlier as well. We have baked in stochastic models in there on parameters like shrinkages, attritions, an AST if applicable in some programs. Now the example that we've been quoting all along was for a business that runs on productive hours. The forecast in itself is productive hours, so AST does not play, so it will not really work for that assumption. But it will consider assumptions like in-office attrition, in-office shrinkage. And within that in-office shrinkage, there are 10 line items. So there are certain shrinkage. One is the break, short break, long break. Besides that, you have coaching, you have one-to-one training, you have group training. There are at least 7 line items. Now, those are something that gets projected based on usage in the past, etc., plus the attrition. Again, in attrition, you would agree that if you factor in a certain percentage for the month, it's not streamlined, right? It's not equal amount of attrition is going to happen each week. First week of the month, some businesses experience higher attrition, second week, third week lull, and then the last week perhaps slightly more. So those trending is considered by the system.
Yeah, so for example, I'll just give example of what I'm asking. So if we see a trend over a period of time that despite having say 25% of shrinkage, right, we are still able to meet all our SLAs.
Mm-hmm.
So will there be a suggestion coming from tool, or will you be able to decide saying we need less capacity probably?
No, so even if you're meeting service level, there is a cost that I'm incurring. That cost is higher than what I should. So the tool will definitely advise correcting the assumptions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. 2 more questions? 3 more questions?
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
Does this tie back to the revenue or the revenue forecast? I mean, what is is that the starting point for this entire thing?
That's not the starting point. We feed in the forecast into the system, and then you have the manpower trajectory for the future weeks and months. This file runs on a weekly basis. You can roll it up to month as well. Now, we have fed in the price points, right? So let me give you an example of a productive hour model. We know the billing rate, those information is back there in the administration section for that specific line of business. The tool can actually look at the manpower that you're going to carry week over week. Will you be able to deliver to the productive hour forecast in that week? If the answer is a yes, then do the mathematics, and here is the revenue number.
And it ties up from, as I mentioned, from the smallest line of business to the...
And it rolls up.
It rolls up to the estate level, and
it rolls
gives
up
me
from
the invoice.
line of business, rolling up to the immediate management unit, to the vertical, to the BU, right up to the estate.
Right.
So if the WFM leader wants to take a view at what is the overall manpower in the BPS today and what is it likely to be over the next 2 months, we can take a look at it. If you want to compare the assumptions between various businesses, various geographies, right, on shrinkages, and that's the hard reality, right? The shrinkages that we plan in Bangalore is slightly different from Mumbai, and what we plan in Mumbai is different from Chennai. And if it is a back office business, it's altogether different. So we have the ability to compare all of those.
Okay.
You have a question?
Okay, hi. So for any decision making, it's all about the data. When it comes to historical data, we have to look into different factors compared to hiring or attrition. How easy or difficult was it to get the historical data when we have to look at the number of years of data? How easy to get? We all know data cleansing is not an easy thing. So how was it for you?
It's a very interesting and good question. So fortunately, for the line of business where we deployed it, we had clean data available on spreadsheets, and that was very diligently saved in the right folder of the year, of the month, etc. So the hierarchy, folder hierarchy was also maintained. So for us, it was easy at this point in time. But if you ask me, when you scale it up to some other business units within the BPS organization, is it going to be the same? I don't have an answer. It could be perhaps difficult.
So the man standing over there, and the reason why I smiled.
We maintain the
because
data for the entire business. So
That's
it's just within our domain itself.
So that was the first question when we started, how long we had the data and how long we have particular line of businesses there, because you continue to have new line of businesses, something going, something coming up. How do we do that? And I'd like to thank him for having that data in place.
The blessing is that the
Lovely
team,
question,
the team that carries the data has developed this application, right? So we did not struggle much.
That's great.
Yes, Yogesh.
Sorry.
Great job, guys. Good session and very good explanation. So, one food for thought, you could use AI to cleanse the data, right? No better use of AI than to do that main work. So you can.
That's what it actually does. The question was how easy or difficult for you to.
I got it. That's for the future, for the other BPS lines.
Yeah, now it has the ability to be integrated with my HR system. It can fetch the attrition number, take the count, plug it out there. Now there is no manual intervention on.
No, that's great. But you know, the data, historical data having holes, right?
Yeah.
The inconsistencies.
Yes, irregularities.
Yes, you need to clear that or smoothen out that curve.
Yes.
You guys know.
And it becomes easier because the data sits on our domain itself.
Correct.
So we can run any cleaning method to clean the data and get it used for this.
Yeah. So my question was related to something which the data native guys have done very well, which is like reverse calculation. That means you don't need to calculate the FT or the head count, but you know the head count, and now you need to predict the service levels that you're going to achieve, because it may be for a new line of business where the business is telling you that, you know, we will pay you for these many resources, but we don't know whether the service levels are going to be met or not. So is that something that you guys are looking at?
Very interesting question, Yogesh. To be very fair and honest, that feature is not developed in the system at this point in time. We have done back testing, etc., on how it would have been, what if analysis and stuff. But if you suggest that I want to deliver 80% service level in 20 seconds, give me the backward mathematics.
Correct.
Or now, can you do 18, 15? What is the difference in headcount? Can you do me a backward mathematics? So that logic is not baked in as we speak. Those things are done on spreadsheet, and again, this is getting deployed on existing programs, and the use case that you're suggesting really comes true for any new
sales. So people are trying to bid for that.
That's not there. We just took 4 months to get this where it is now, so a lot of development is still pending. But yes, good question. We don't have that feature right now.
No worries. Thanks for
that. Yes, Jay. Inspiration to get this tool, I would say it is necessity, point one. So most of the solutions that we have in Tech and BPS, even the reporting system for that matter, we have done all of us using web-based application and systems. We don't, at this point in time, at least some part of BS, we are not using Power BI also. So all the information comes on a web-based solution. What was missing out there was capacity planning, and as all of us would agree, this is one of the most complex things, right? And this was there on the charts, and then when we got started, the question was, can we do it? First, we created a spreadsheet-based prototype just to get a sense of how difficult, how complex it's gonna be, and then we, the team came together, we huddled up to say, can we do, can we not do, and to what extent can we do? Fortunately, we had team members coders within the team. So, we were able to get past this in the last 4-5 months. Inspiration, again, it was a necessity, to be very honest.
Cool. Thank you so much for asking so many questions. Probably I would have presented. Oh, one more. Go ahead, sir.
So thank you so very much for the wonderful presentation, though I did not understand much. But I could not stop, from telling you this, Afaq, this is for you. You have the most vibrant personality in the room. I love your confidence, and thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You
you.
made my day.
Thank you. We all agree.
I would love just leave it with our hashtag, which is love to be TechMBPS. So thank you so much for hearing us. Thank you.
Thank you.